Bonjour! Hello everybody, and today we are going to be working on something called ma journée. Ma journée, and I'm going to ask what that means in English first of all, because I'm sure there'll be some of you looking at that thinking, I know that means my journey. It does not mean my journey. That is a false friend. That's a common mistake that lots of people make. Ma journée, I think it is a word we have actually seen before. It means my day. It's from the word jour, which means day. It's another word for day. So ma journée, my day, what I do in my day. And we're looking today at daily routine activities, things that you may do generally every day. So here we have some activities that someone could typically do in a standard day. And I am going to tell you what they are in French, how you would say you do these things in French. You may want to repeat after me. So we'll go over here first of all, and we have Je me réveille. Je me réveille. Je me lève. Je me lève. Je me lave. Je me lave. Je m'habille. Je m'habille. Je prends mon petit déjeuner. Je prends mon petit déjeuner. Je me brosse les dents. Je me brosse les dents. Je quitte la maison. Je quitte la maison. Je vais au collège. Je vais au collège. Je rentre chez moi. Je rentre chez moi. Je fais mes devoirs. Je fais mes devoirs. Okay, so those are 10 activities you may do in a typical day. Let's see if you can remember what they are in French as we reveal the words for them. So the first one was, can you remember? Je me réveille. Je me réveille. Ici, numéro 2, c'était je me lève. Je me lève. Numéro 3, je me lave. Je me lave. Numéro 4, je m'habille. Je m'habille. Numéro 5, je prends mon petit déjeuner. Je prends mon petit déjeuner. Au numéro 6, je me brosse les dents. Je me brosse les dents. Numéro 7, je quitte la maison. Je quitte la maison. Numéro 8, je vais au collège. Je vais au collège. Numéro 9, je rentre chez moi. Je rentre chez moi. Et numéro 10, je fais mes devoirs. Je fais mes devoirs. So that is what the words look like in French. Now, one thing to notice, of course, that for 5 of these 10 phrases, they have a similar looking construction, and that is that they have this extra me. Je me réveille. Je me lève. Je me lave. Je m'habille. That is a similar one as well, but the E has dropped from there. Why has it dropped? It's because the H is silent and therefore there's a vowel sound coming straight after it, and we don't like the two vowels of the E and the A straight next to each other, so we'll just get rid of the E to make it slide along more easily. Je m'habille. And the 5th one is over here. Je me brosse les dents. So not all of these phrases have this extra me, but 5 of them do. Why is that? Well, that's because they are a special type of verb. They are called reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs is what we call them. And it is simply verbs that have this extra little bit in it to stress that it is something that you are doing to yourself. We don't often say anything like that in English. The best example possibly is this one here, je me lave. This just means I have a wash, but literally means I wash myself. I wash me. I wash myself. So these are all things you're doing to yourself. I get myself dressed. I get myself dressed. This one, I brush my teeth, we would say in English, but we say I brush the teeth to me. I brush my own teeth in French. So this one, I get up, I get myself up, I lift myself out of bed. And here I wake up, I wake myself. Might be an alarm clock that wakes us, but in French we say I wake myself. So we wouldn't always translate that into English, but we have to have it for these particular verbs in French, these verbs that we call reflexive verbs. And these are just 5 of them here. But these others aren't reflexive verbs, they're just ordinary verbs. So we've got I leave the house, I go to school, I come back to my house, I do my homework, and over here I take literally, but I have my breakfast, mon petit déjeuner. So the other thing to notice, of course, between these two verbs is these are very similar, these phrases, je me lève and je me lave, the only difference being that second letter of the main part of the verb there, with the E with the grave accent or with the A. And that's the only difference there between I get up and I have a wash. I wash myself. So let's take a look at these reflexive verbs then on the next page. And as we said, we can say reflexive verbs are used when the person or thing doing the action is doing it to themselves. We wouldn't always use a similar word in English. We'd probably just avoid it altogether, but you have to have it in French. And to show this in French, you have what we call an extra pronoun. So we've seen all these examples in the je form, je me lave, I wash myself. But if you're talking about other people, then you need to change the reflexive pronoun as well. So tu te laves, il ou elle se lave. That gives us the infinitive, se laver, to wash oneself. Notice in the nous form, it's very easy. It's the same word again. We just say nous nous lavons. We have a wash. Vous vous lavez. You have a wash in the plural form. And il, elle, se lave. They wash. It's se again as it was in the singular. So it is fairly straightforward to recognize which pronouns should go where. Je me lave, tu te laves, il, elle se lave, also il, elle se lave, and nous nous lavons, vous vous lavez. That's quite straightforward. So that is one example, that's the verb se laver, to wash. But for all those other examples we had, se brosser les dents, to brush one's teeth, se lever, to get up, se réveiller, to wake up, would follow the same pattern. So it would be well worth making a note here of and about these reflexive verbs and this example here. So that's that. One other thing I want us to look at today, though, is something we've seen before, and that is telling the time. So hopefully you can remember this, and that the time as it's shown on screen now would be il est 10 heures. Il est 10 heures. And if I moved the minute hand to 5 past, then you would know it is il est 10h05. And if I moved it to 10 past, you would know that it is il est 10h10, 10 past 10. If I go to 20 past, il est 10h20. And 25 past, il est 10h25. Now, when we looked at the time before, we learnt the phrases for quarter past, quarter to, half past. So I could have said 10h15, 10h30. But you don't have to say that, just like in English. There are 2 ways of saying this. So 10h15, quarter past 10. But you could also say 10h15. If you said that's 10h10, 10:10, that's 10h20, 10:20. You can also say 10h15, 10:15. Similarly, down here, you could say il est 10h30. It is 10:30. Now, when we learnt the time before, you may remember we learnt the phrases for saying it is 25 to 11. Il est 11h moins 25. 11h moins 20, moins le quart, moins 10, moins 5, and so on. But as we've seen with the other side, as you can say numbers instead of quarter past, half past, so you can carry that method going round. So you've got il est 10h25, il est 10h30. You can, of course, carry on to say il est 10h35. You could say for this, 20 to 11, il est 10h40. It's 10:40. Il est 10h45. It is 10:45. You could say il est 11h moins le quart. It is a quarter to 11. Or il est 10h45. It is 10:45. Il est 10h50. And il est 10h55. It is 10:55. And then we come back to il est 11h. So you do have, in French, just as you do in English, two different ways of telling the time, using the 10 past, quarter to, 10 to method, or just using the number of minutes past the hour. It is 10:10, it is 10:20, it is 10:40, it is 10:55, and so on. That's one thing. The other thing to bear in mind is when we're looking at the hours, here you can see that it is il est 11h. If I then took that to 12 o'clock, it would be, of course, il est 12h. It is 12 o'clock. Now, in French, if it is 12 o'clock midday and the next hour was obviously 1 o'clock, you could say il est 1h, but in French it's very common to use the 24-hour clock, so you do need to know that as well. So you could also say that this is il est 13h. This is just simply a case of knowing your numbers from 12 all the way round to 23. Can you remember those numbers? So that would be in the afternoon, il est 13h. It is 13 hours. 1 hour later, it would be il est 14h. Can you continue the hours for me? Il est 15h. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, il est 15h. That would be il est 16h. Il est 17h. 17h. 17 hours, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Il est 18h. Il est 19h. Il est 20h. Il est 21h. Il est 22h. And il est 23h. 23 hours, it's 11 o'clock at night. And that would take us back to, if you really want to do il est, if I can get it there, il est 0h, it's 0 hours, or just il est minuit, it is midnight. And then the time starts again. So, daily routine phrases and times of the day, and trying to put them all together to say what time you do particular activities. Je me réveille à 6h. I wake up at 6 o'clock, or whatever it might be. That's the work we've got to do today. So find the task and make sure you get on with it. And I'll see you again later to go through some of this. Okay, bonne chance. Merci.